Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all are fine and in good health. Welcome back to today's English class. In the previous class, we started with Unit 7, Topsy Turvy Land. We completed this poem, right? And I already said that Unit 7, you don't have to write in your CW and you will not also get any PDF for this. This is just for your understanding and explanation. Okay? Now, we completed the poem from Unit 7. Now we will be doing Gulliver's Travels. Okay, that is on page number 116 from your textbook Marigold. Okay, so all of you now open page number 116 Marigold. Okay, and Gulliver's Travels. Now, students, let me remind you one thing that Gulliver's Travels. Okay, there are so many stories of the adventures of Gulliver's Travels, right? So, this is one part of his story. Okay, and if you want to watch a video, that also you can find on YouTube. Okay, there is an animated movie of the same story which is there in your textbook. So, I even suggest you to watch that so that you will understand this chapter in a better way. So let us start the chapter. Gulliver's Travels. When a person tells the story of his life in his own words, it is called an autobiography. So basically, Gulliver Travels. Gulliver, he has written a book on his adventures. Okay, so when a person is telling his story, okay, that is of his life on his own, in his own words, what do we call them? We call them autobiography. When a person himself is describing, okay, like suppose Sachin Tendulkar, A Billionaire Dream, right? In that movie, Sachin Tendulkar himself acted in it, right? And it is a story of Sachin Tendulkar himself. So that is an autobiography. What it is? It's an autobiography. Why? Because a person is telling his story of his life by himself. Clear? Gulliver, a sailor, was once caught in the land of giants. This is how he describes his experience. So, now basically, Gulliver, it's a very big book, students. If you go to read it, it's a very big book of his adventures. So, out of all his adventures, see, Gulliver was a sailor. Gulliver was a sailor. He kept on sailing. Okay, sailing means they travel in the sea, right? So, Gulliver, he is now in this chapter mentioning how he was once caught in the land of giants. Okay, so if you write on YouTube, Gulliver Travels Land of Giants, you will get an animated cartoon on this. Okay, so students, this is how he describes the experience. Means now below we will be reading about what he had seen in the land of giants. Okay, now let's start. On the 16th of June 1730, we discovered land. Now, what Gulliver is saying that on 16th June, now obviously, if the person is himself mentioning the incident, he'll be knowing the date, day, everything, right? So he's saying 16th June 1730. 1730 was the year, okay? We discovered land. Now, discover. What is the meaning of discover? Something which was already there, okay, and they just found it out. Okay, something was already existing, अब उन्होंने land बनाया नहीं है. What is the difference between innovation and discovering? Innovation means making something new. Discover means finding out what is already there, right? So land was already there, but nobody might have been living over there. So Gulliver is saying we discovered a land, we found out a land. Our captain sent a dozen men with vessels for water, if any could be found. So the captain of the boat, What did he do? He had sent dozen men, means he had sent 12 men on the land to find with vessels of water, if any could be found. So they wanted water to drink, right? Now, can they drink sea water? Now you might be thinking they're already sailing on water. Why can't they drink that water? But they can't, because it is a salty water. Sea has salty water, so they cannot drink that water. So, captain sent dozen men on the land with vessels to collect water if there was any. When we came to the land, we saw no river or no spring, nor any inhabitants. So, students, now what Gulliver is saying, that when they came on the land, okay, they were searching for river or spring. Spring means a small area where there would be a waterfall. Okay, so he's saying that we didn't see any river, we didn't see any spring, okay, nor any inhabitants. Inhabitant means any living person. Okay, so if somebody was living over there, okay, so they said we could find no one over there and nothing, no water. I went on to explore. What Gulliver is saying now, I went further to find out about the land. And what is he saying? The country was barren and rocky. The country means the land was barren, it was plain, no greenery was there, and it was rocky. So, what happened? I turned back to join the crew. Crew means group. What's the meaning of crew? Crew means group, okay? Only to see them getting into boat and rowing for life to get to the ship. So now, as Gulliver, he turned back to join the group. What he saw? He saw that everybody was going back to the boat. Okay, and why? Rowing for life. Rowing for life over here we mean, okay, they were running to save their lives to get to the ship. Now, what happened to the other group members that they were running like this? Let us see. Before I could reach them, I observed a huge creature walking after them in the sea as fast as he could. So, now Gulliver he went further. No, he was not with the group. वो आगे चला गया था ना, तो जैसे ही वो पीछे आया वापस आया, so he saw that after that group he saw one big creature. Creature means some living thing. Okay, huge creature means now a huge monster kind of walking after them. So some huge creature was walking after them in the sea as fast as he could. मतलब वो पकड़ने के लिए भाग रहा होगा ना उसके पीछे. Now can the Gulliver go like that now back to the ship? No, because वो उसके आगे already एक creature भाग रहा है. The water The water of the ocean reached only till his knees. और वो इतना बड़ा क्रिएचर था, इतना बड़ा क्रिएचर था. द ओशन, ओशन तो कितना डीप होता है ना. वो पॉन्ड नहीं होता कि हम उसमें खड़े हो जाए, स्विमिंग पूल थोड़ी ना होता है ओशन. ओशन इज अ ह्यूज वाटर बॉडी और इतना डीप होता है. सो गलीवर इज सेइंग दैट वो जब ओशन में भाग रहा था तो ओशन का पानी उसको कहाँ तक आ रहा था, उसके नीज तक आ रहा था. अगर हम स्विमिंग पूल में खड़े होते हैं तब भी देन ऑल्सो आर हाफ ऑफ द बॉडी गेट्स कवर्ड, राइट. बट इन ओशन उसका पानी कहाँ तक आ रहा था, उसके नीज तक आ रहा था, घुटनों तक आ रहा था. However, the monster was unable to overtake the speeding boat. लेकिन क्या हुआ, वो मॉन्स्टर वो बोट को नहीं पकड़ पाया. बोट बहुत ही फास्ट चलाई उन्होंने. I turned back quickly and climbed up a steep hill with fields of barley and on either side and the corn rising up to 40 feet. So now Gulliver, the boat तो चली गई, Gulliver तो land पे रह गया. Right? Now how would Gulliver save himself? So there was a steep hill. Steep matlab, I'll explain you. I'll draw for you. See, mostly mountains are like this, right? but steep means narrow, like this. Okay, did you get it? It's like this. Okay, not like this, it's like this. So he was running like this, and what he saw, on one side there was barley. Barley is a crop, and on the other side there was corn. Okay, and what was the height of the corns? 40 feet. Even us, the humans, are at last 7 or some feet, right? But 40 feet, just imagine corn fields. उनके जो क्रॉप्स होते थे वो कितने हाइट के होते थे? 40 फीट के होते थे. There was a fence to pass from one field to another field. Okay, now there was a फेंस. फेंस मीन्स बाउंड्रीज, और हर खेत के बीच साइड पे बाउंड्रीज होती थी. ओके, ये दूसरा खेत है तो यहाँ पे भी दूसरी बाउंड्री. सो अब ये बाउंड्रीज बनाई हुई है. फेंसेस इज बाउंड्रीज. सो इफ देयर इज अ फेंस, देयर इज अ around the fields, it means someone is living over there. Someone is living over there. But who is living over there? Let us see. It was impossible for me to climb because every step was 6 feet high. और क्या गलीवर ट्रैवल कर सकता था इतने बड़े खेतों में? नहीं कर सकता था. वाई? बिकॉज एवरी स्टेप was 6 feet. ऑलमोस्ट एक इंसान की हाइट के बराबर एक स्टेप होता था. अगर इतनी बड़ी सीढ़ियाँ हो तो क्या चढ़ पा सकते हैं गलीवर? नो. I was trying to find a gap in the hedge and I discovered one of the inhabitants in the next field. Okay, so now in the hedge means over there in the corners of the field, Gulliver was trying to find himself to hide. But then he found an inhabitant, means a living person in the next field. दूसरी खेत में उसने देखा कि वहाँ पे कोई है. Walking towards the fence, और वो फेंस बाउंड्री की तरफ आ रहा है. He was the same size as the creature chasing the boat. Oh my God, क्या हुआ? उसने क्या देखा कि जिस इंसान को वो देख रहा था दूसरे खेत में, वो कितने हाइट का था और कितने साइज का था? उसी तरह था जो उसने देखा था जो वो बोट के पीछे भाग रहा था. I was struck with utmost fear and astonishment and ran to hide myself. I was struck. He says, I was struck. It means I was shocked, okay, with fear, and I was surprised and I ran to hide myself. अगर इतने बड़े बड़े क्रिएचर्स ये लैंड पे है, इसका मतलब अगर उन्होंने गलीवर को देख लिया तो क्या होगा? वो गलीवर को पकड़ लेंगे, राइट? सो ही वॉज रनिंग टू हाइड माई himself. He called in a voice much louder than a trumpet. Now trumpet पता है? वो शादी में ऐसे बजाते हैं, राइट? एंड उसका साउंड तो कैसा होता है ना, बहुत ही हाई साउंड होता है ना उसका. सो गलीवर वॉज सेइंग दैट जब वो बोलते थे उनकी आवाज़ ट्रम्पेट से भी ज़्यादा आती थी. इट साउंडेड लाइक थंडर. थंडर मीन्स बिजली. 7 monsters like him came towards the field ready to reap the corn. Now what happened? एक नहीं था, ऐसे 7 monsters. Monsters means they were human beings only. They were giant human beings. But for Gulliver, obviously they were like monsters. अगर हम भी देखें तो हम भी monster ही लगेगा, right? So he was saying there were 7 creatures जो फेंस फील्ड की तरफ आ रहे थे. इट मीन्स वो खेतों की तरफ जा रहे थे. वाई? टू रीप द कॉर्न. रीप द कॉर्न मीन्स वो जब कॉर्न पक जाता है. ओके, रीप द कॉर्न, जब वो कॉर्न पक जाता है तो वो हार्वेस्ट करने के लिए वो सारे निकालता है ना, तो वो रीप करने के लिए वो सब आ रहे थे. They carried a reaping hook which was very big. Now reaping hook, see this one इज़ अ रीपिंग हुक, और वो बहुत बड़ा था. भाई? बिकॉज वो, अब रीपिंग हुक भी तो उनकी ही साइज़ का होगा ना, हमारे जितने साइज़ का थोड़ी होगा. ओके, हमारे लिए तो छोटा यूज़ करते हैं, बट ये उनकी साइज़ के हिसाब से रीपिंग हुक होगा. लेकिन गलीवर को तो बहुत बड़ा दिखेगा ना. When one of the reapers approached where I lay hidden, I screamed as loud as I could. Now what happened? One of them came at a place where Gulliver was hiding himself. Where Gulliver was hiding himself. So now what will happen? So Gulliver started screaming. The creature stopped reaping, picked me up between his thumb and forefinger, and brought me close to his eyes, 60 feet above the ground. So now Gulliver was shouting and screaming. वो चिल्ला रहा था ना, तो उसकी आवाज़ सुन के वो उसने क्रॉप्स निकालना बंद किया और उसने क्या किया? सी ओवर हियर, सी ओवर हियर, गलीवर को कैसे उसने पकड़ा है? उसने ऐसे गलीवर को पास में पकड़ा और कितना ऊंचा था वो? 60 फीट फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड से 60 फीट ऊपर गलीवर को उसने लिया था। अगर कॉर्न की फील्ड्स 40 फीट हाई है तो इंसान की हाइट तो उससे भी ज़्यादा होगी ना। तो वो 60 फीट ग्राउंड से ऊपर था। ही लुक्ड एट मी विथ क्यूरियोसिटी। क्यूरियोसिटी मीन्स विथ he wanted to know what it is, eagerness, and blew my hair aside to get a better view of my face. Now what happens? It means the he blew means उसने फूंक मारी किसकी तरफ? गलीवर के बालों की तरफ, कि उसके बाल उड़े और उसका चेहरा नजर आए. He called his friends and gently placed me on the ground. Now what happened? This man, now they were not bad. अगर उसको गलीवर को हर्ट ही करना था तो वो पहले हर्ट कर लेता ना. लेकिन उसने क्या किया? उसने अपने सारे जो दूसरे 7 थे ना, उन सबको बुलाया और गलीवर को कहाँ रखा? उसने गलीवर को ग्राउंड पे रखा. Okay, so students, we completed till page number 117. Okay, till here. Till then, you have to read the story. If you have doubt, you can ask in the comment section. We'll continue with the story in the next class.